5 Primetime News at 9 starts right now.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Austin, Texas.
Within the last couple of hours, there was another explosion. Fox 25's Caroline Vandergriff has the latest information from the live desk. Caroline.
That's right. The city's certainly on edge tonight. A report of another package explosion turned out to be an incendiary device. Now let's take a look at the scene right now. Austin police don't believe this is related to the package bomb murders at this point. One person was injured, though, and police are still on scene investigating. Now, 2 more package bombs were found today at 2 separate FedEx facilities, one in Austin, one near San Antonio. Those are connected to the previous 4 explosions that killed 2 and injured several others. Now, the motive for these are unclear right now. There is a $100,000 reward. We are expecting an update from Austin police just shortly, and we will, of course, bring you those details on this developing story right here at the live desk.
Caroline, thank you. A school district accused of grade tampering. Now the state education department is investigating Chickasha Public Schools. The state superintendent wants the OSBI to get involved. Fox 25's Jordan Lucero talked with people in Chickasha who say they knew something wasn't right. Jordan.
Community members have been looking for answers for months. The state education department says they got upwards of 40 complaints about Chickasha PS. That's why they launched this investigation. Now the department says over a 4-month period from October 2017 to January 2018, about 5,500 course grades were changed. More than 18,000 assignment grades were changed, and there were significant discrepancies in teacher logins. This was on the self-paced learning center system. It's online courses high schoolers can take.
Anytime a student record's at issue, we want to ensure that they are accurate. These students may be nearing graduation and continue on into college and career, and it's very important that they have the accuracy exist with respect to their student records as they go forward.
He says his department is still investigating complaints, and the internal investigation won't stop, even though they're asking the OSBI to start a case. People in Chickasha say they're glad. While parents have been working for answers and accountability, they say they've lost good teachers to this grade tampering issue.
People should not be afraid to speak out about their job and what's going on. If they don't think our children are being educated right, our teachers have every right to speak out and should not be punished for speaking out. And we had people that were punished for it.
Chickasha schools are out for spring break, so we could not talk to anyone from the district in person, but a lawyer sent us this statement. Neither Hoffmeister nor her staff have been in recent contact with district officials, and it is unclear how the state superintendent reached her conclusions. Nevertheless, district leaders welcome a criminal investigation. Wendy.
Jordan, thank you. Fox 25 told you back in December 4 Chickasha faculty members were suspended amid accusations. The district did not give many details about what happened then.
Good evening, everybody. Spring 2018 did kick off this morning. And as we head throughout the spring season, we have 2 big weather concerns. Number 1, the wildfire threat. So later on this week and this weekend, really not all that bad. Between Thursday and Sunday, it's high to near critical, but it never really does get critical or extremely dangerous. And of course, severe weather's on everyone's mind. And as we end the weekend on Sunday, we do have a very low threat of severe thunderstorms. More on that later. Right now, as we look live across Oklahoma City on the Air Comfort Solutions WeatherBug Network, it's nice and clear and cool, but it does get downright chilly tonight. Clear skies all the way, but highs will be in the 80s soon. We'll talk some more about Sunday's severe threats and a lot more wet weather possibly next week. Your Storm Watch 7-day real soon.
Jeff, thank you. Tonight, we are getting an update on a story that we've been following for you over recent weeks and recent months.
The continued problems in Puerto Rico to get the lights back on following last year's Hurricane Maria. Correspondent Brian Yenis tells us the power is coming back on finally.
In Puerto Rico, this is the sound of relief. After 6 months, Jose Rodriguez, his family and neighbors in Naguabo finally have power.
I'm so happy.
The last 180 days have been a struggle.
It's so hard. I was 4 days in depression.
No power meant no running water. For 3 months, they showered with a bucket. He and his wife took turns caring for her 82-year-old father suffering from Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's.
They have air conditioning, they have fans, they have TV, all the stuff, your bed, everything, but have power, and he don't know.
About 100,000 Americans are still without power on the island. 1,500 workers from 56 electric companies from all over the U.S. are here.
Be this resilient after 6-7 months without power, and then to feel like they're grateful we're here. They may think they're rough, tough linemen, but some of them say they go back to the room and they cry at night.
An estimated 470,000 Puerto Ricans are expected to leave the island over the next 2 years. In hardest-hit Yabucoa, Roberto Martinez lost the roof of his home. He's now moving the family to Indiana.
To have to abandon my grandmother, abandon my mother, my family after all these years together, and to have to make a decision like this now, it's difficult.
While parts of the island are still recovering, tourists are returning to San Juan.
The cruise liners have been starting to roll up. However, we still have many hotels that are either overpopulated because of the recovery teams or that are still in reconstruction.
FEMA says Puerto Rico's recovery is at a fragile state. It's delivering emergency food and water, rebuilding infrastructure while preparing for another hurricane season less than 3 months away. In Puerto Rico, Brian Yenis, Fox News.
Lincoln County deputies stumbled upon $250,000 of stolen property this weekend, and now they're looking for the suspect who stole items from across the state. Fox 25's Sharday Gray takes us inside the home that is stacked with tons of stuff.
I've never seen anything like this.
Stacked from room to room, from TVs to guitars to several Purple Hearts and even a coffin. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office say they have their work cut out for them.
We've recovered everything from Massey Ferguson tractor to 4 or 5 trailers, a John Deere Gator, zero-turn riding lawnmowers.
Lincoln County Sheriff Charlie Doherty tells Fox 25 on Sunday one of their deputies was in the area on a suspicious vehicle call. He followed a road that led up to this house.
He noticed 3 or 4 trailers in the wood line, and he got out to look at those trailers. The first trailer that he looked at was stolen out of Pot County by serial numbers. Once
inside, they found the house stashed with tons of items, and he says most of them came from a burglary at a storage unit.
Where he's finding all these totes, the majority of them are taking our victims are taking us back to a storage building that's been broke into with all our items that they had stored stolen.
Deputies believe the theft ring and stash house has been in operation for about 6 months, and after searching through the house, they stumbled upon a camera system.
It fed right straight to his cell phone, so I think he knows that we are here. I think he knows that he saw the entry team walk up. It probably notified him by video phone, and so he knows we're after him.
Sharday Gray, Fox 25 News.
The sheriff's office says they have been in contact with his family, so they are waiting to see where that takes them. As for all that stolen stuff, they're not sure how many days they're going to be at the house, but they can tell you they have solved 20 burglaries after finding items from that house. Teachers and students spent their spring break at the Capitol this morning. Their mission to talk to specific legislators about increasing teacher pay raises. Teachers from Locust Grove Public Schools brought their students down to talk with lawmakers. They're hoping to convince legislators to come to a conclusion before April 2nd.
We don't want April 2nd to happen. We don't want to have to walk out. We just want them to come up with something for our funding for our classrooms and a pay raise for teachers and support.
It shows us that they appreciate us and they want us to have a good future, but they also need a fund for education and pay raise to help us have that.
The teachers say their mission was to talk with the lawmakers who voted no last time.
A Robert E. Lee monument is taken down in Tulsa today after thousands signed a petition. That monument was removed from Lee Elementary School. This comes less than 2 weeks before the school gets a name change. Tulsa is renaming 4 of their schools that were named after Confederate leaders, and Oklahoma City is renaming 3 schools. The man already serving a life sentence pleads guilty to running down his victim's mother. Stanley Majors shot and killed his neighbor Khalid Jabara back in 2016. Today, Majors pleaded guilty to hitting Jabara's mother, Haifa Jabara, a year before the murder. Majors was sentenced to 15 years in prison, which he will serve concurrently with his life sentence. An SUV leads police, deputies, and state troopers on a wild ride through 2 counties.
What officers found once that SUV came to a stop.
And coming up, stealing from a convenience store, but not how you think. The strange item one couple shoplifted from a gas station.
Plus, from Sooner to Superstar, Fox 25 breaks down where former OU basketball player Trae Young is expected to go in the upcoming NBA draft.
A major change in taxes on student loans means money saving for some borrowers. Fox 25 Consumer Watch has got your back with who qualifies for these savings. That story in minutes.
From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
Congress is heading towards a government shutdown as spending talks drag on. Let's take you live now to Washington, D.C., where lawmakers are working around the clock to finish the $1.3 trillion spending bill. The House pushed back the bill's release and planned vote. As of now, no agreement on the spending package has emerged. The government will run out of funding at the end of the day Friday if no deal is reached. We will, of course, continue to monitor this story right here at the live desk.
Happening today around the metro, 3 people now behind bars for burglarizing a murder suspect's home. It happened around 4 last Friday afternoon. Police say Zachary Tiger, Lonnie Wright, and Rodney Weed were all loading items into a vehicle near Southwest 27th and South Grand. All 3 are now facing charges of second-degree burglary. The victim in the case was arrested last week in connection to a murder in Northwest Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City police need your help identifying the couple in this video. You can see them inside an on-cue around 10 in the morning on March 2nd. Police say they stole a scanner from the checkout counter. If you have information, call Crime Stoppers.
A cold case solved, and now a Newcastle man is behind bars for his father's death. According to OSBI, 37-year-old Kyle Brooks was arrested last Friday on a complaint of first-degree murder. His father, Timothy Brooks, died in August of 2012 after being shot in the stomach. OSBI agents say they found that Kyle had taken a $500,000 life insurance policy out on his father 2.5 years before his death. 12-year-old boy is accused of leading police, deputies, and state troopers on a high-speed chase. We're told it all started around 2 this afternoon when police got a call about an SUV driving erratically and speeding near State Highway 152 and County Line Road. This is in Mustang. A Mustang officer tried to pull the SUV over. It just kept on going. That's when Grady County deputies and OHP joined the pursuit. The SUV finally stopped on its own just north of the entrance to the Bailey Turnpike. Investigators say they later determined the car had been stolen from Oklahoma City. There's no word on possible charges or where the boy is being held tonight. Congressional Democrats host a forum on school safety and violence prevention on the same day police respond to another school shooting, this time in Maryland.
This discussion coming just days before a national march organized by students who survived the deadly school shooting in Parkland, Florida. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
Yet another school shooting, this time just 60 miles outside the nation's capital, where gun reform has remained a top issue in Congress.
Talk, moments of silence, wringing our hands is not enough. It is time for action.
House Minority Whip Steny Hoyer represents the district where today's shooting took place. Democrats holding a previously planned forum on school safety just hours after a shooting at a Maryland school where 2 students were injured and the 17-year-old gunman died.
We know how immediate the threat is.
The gun debate was reignited last month after the Parkland, Florida shooting that killed 17. The president has proposed arming some teachers, but won't go so far as to call for an assault rifle ban. Students across the country walked out of school in protest on the 1-month anniversary of Parkland last week. The shooting in Maryland today, just days before a massive rally planned in Washington, D.C. on Saturday called March for Our Lives.
It just shows that the youth are tired of being the generation where we're locked in closets and waiting for police to come in case of a shooter. and we're sick and tired of having to live with this normalcy of turning on the news and watching a mass shooting.
March for Our Lives expects 500,000 people to turn out this weekend in D.C. for the student-led demonstration. Organizers say more than 700 similar marches will be held around the world to show solidarity with school shooting survivors. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
The spring season and spring break taking over Oklahoma most of this week. Tomorrow morning in the 40s and looking really nice and pleasant tomorrow afternoon in the 60s to about 70. But stormy weather is just around the corner. Your Storm Watch 7-day at 9:32.
And don't forget that we've got your latest news, traffic, and weather every morning. Start your day with Chris Stanford and Jasmine Anderson from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Good Day OK. From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman kicked off his 3-week trip across the U.S. today. The Crown Prince first met with President Trump at the White House. He's now going to meet with business leaders in Silicon Valley and Wall Street.
But will any of these leaders bring up Saudi Arabia's human rights abuses? National correspondent Michelle Macaluso has the story about the diplomatic balancing act. This is only on Fox 25.
The young heir to the throne, Saudi Arabia's crown prince, is hoping to become the most transformative leader in decades and is seeking to improve relations with the West.
I just want to welcome you. It's a great honor to have you back again.
Mohammed bin Salman has laid out his campaign to reform Saudi Arabia, called Vision 2030. But in the plan, there is no mention of human rights.
It is his blueprint, but it doesn't really prioritize social domestic changes.
Nicole Bibbins-Sadaka, professor at Georgetown University, says it's unlikely administration officials and business leaders will bring up human rights in meetings with the Crown Prince.
Because of security and economic cooperation, the United States has, in varying degrees, turned a blind eye to the domestic situation.
In a recent report by Freedom House, Saudi Arabia was ranked in the bottom quarter of the list, in the same group as North Korea.
They were ranked not free, 7 out of 7, the lowest category as far as their civil and political rights.
Saudi Arabia's government is not elected and doesn't recognize the freedom to publicly practice non-Muslim religions. Political dissent isn't allowed. Women, ethnic minorities, and the LGBTQ community face discrimination. Those found guilty of homosexual practices can be punished by death. Bin Salman is making small progress. Movie theaters are open again. Saudi women are now allowed to work in retail. And in June, women will finally be allowed to drive.
Women in Saudi Arabia have long been limited in their freedom of movement, in their freedom of decision making. There have been small steps to liberalizing that.
A U.S. official did not want to get ahead of the talks with the Crown Prince, but did say, quote, human rights issues are an important part of our ongoing discussions with the Saudi government. In Washington, I'm Michelle Macaluso.
And coming up, Fox 25's Maria Garcia explains how students with disabilities can now get help with their student loan debt.
Plus a sweet treat from Krispy Kreme that's only available for a limited time.
And why environmentalists are fighting to get plastic straws out of restaurants.
Are you dealing with clutter on a regular basis? We've got your back with the 5 ways you can become more organized. Tomorrow morning, 5 to 9.
From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
We are back with a live look at the student loan discharge site. Loans can be forgiven or even discharged for several reasons, and disability is one of them. People with severe disabilities struggling with student loan debt can now get more help.
That's right. Fox 25's Maria Garcia has got your back with the new protections. It's tonight's Consumer Watch.
Hundreds of thousands of people with severe disabilities who have student loans could benefit from this major change. That's according to the government's Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Here's a big part of the change in the law. If you had your student loans forgiven or discharged on or after January 1st of this year, because of a total and permanent disability, you will no longer have to pay federal income taxes on those forgiven loans. That's according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Maybe you didn't even know that you could have your loans forgiven if you were facing a major disability. Veterans, the VA says, are unemployable because of a service-related disability, people on Social Security benefits because of a permanent disability, and even people deemed permanently disabled by a doctor may qualify for federal student loan forgiveness. In 2016, the Department of Education and the Social Security Administration found 387,000 borrowers with disabilities. According to that data, the group owed nearly $8 billion, with nearly half of them in default. Many of them didn't know they qualified for a loan discharge. The latest change means now that they will not face any tax burdens because of the loan discharge.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says that some private student loan lenders also offer disability forgiveness, but they are not held to the same standards as federal lenders. Maria Garcia, Fox 25 Consumer Watch.
And for links to check if you qualify for student loan discharge, head to our website, okcfox.com.
The city of Austin is certainly on edge tonight after a report of another package bomb explosion turned out to be an incendiary device. We are waiting now on Austin police to update the media about tonight's incident. They don't believe it is related to the package bomb murders at this point. Now, 2 more package bombs were found today at 2 separate FedEx facilities, one in Austin, one in San Antonio. Those are connected to the previous 4 explosions that killed 2 and injured several others. Now, police have a $100,000 reward being offered for this case right now. They're trying to figure out who is responsible for this. We will, of course, continue to monitor that news conference there and bring you the latest information right here from the live desk.
Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday, everyone. We do have partly to mostly cloudy skies all across Oklahoma, and to the northwest, a few light spring showers going on right now. Again, they're very light and they are fizzling fast, and they'll be out of here in another hour or 2. Our next weather maker is way the heck up here in western Canada, and it takes about 5 days to arrive. When it does swing by on Sunday, rain, thunder, and severe weather all possible, but for tonight, a few sprinkles northwest this evening. Overnight, middle to upper 30s, so it does get downright chilly. Everyone above freezing, except for the panhandle. So we do start off your Wednesday morning, Oklahoma City, in the upper 30s. So if you want to watch that sunrise, maybe from Yukon, sun comes up nowadays at 7:34, and the days just keep on getting longer and longer as we head throughout spring, and hopefully the grass will keep on getting greener. Not much wind tomorrow morning, and we quickly get into the 40s by 9 o'clock, and we should be in the 50s by 11, so noon looking great. 55, pleasantly cool and dry, and then tomorrow afternoon, quite a bit more sunshine and very nice and comfy temperatures. In the middle to upper 60s, a great day to go outside and play. Sunny to partly cloudy skies, and we keep on warming up. Thursday, 76, and how about some 80s on Friday and Saturday? And you will start to notice late this week and this weekend, it gets muggy and stuffy. It's spring, and that will lay the foundation for some showers and thunderstorms possibly on Sunday. Coming off that dry line and that cold front to the west, any storm that passes by could be strong or severe with damaging wind and hail. Should only be a few the way it's looking right now. And the best chance of any kind of stormy and severe weather will be east of I-35 on Sunday. And that front, instead of swinging by and flying into Texas, it actually hangs around on Monday and Tuesday. And because of that, waves and rounds of showers and thunderstorms will come across that system and pass on by. Some could be strong or heavy, so it looks like we will have a wet weather pattern starting on Sunday and at least heading into early next week. And that's exactly what we need. And of course, cooling down with that front coming in. Monday and Tuesday, highs in the 60s.
Coming up, an update on the Oklahoma City lioness who started growing a mane.
Plus, after facing backlash from incidents involving pets, the drastic measures United Airlines are taking to make sure that no other pets die. And a way Apple fans can get cheaper products from a store that's going out of business.
Let's get to some consumer news. The closing of Toys R Us stores could mean bargains for Apple lovers. After its liquidation announcement, Toys R Us is now trying to sell off all of its products. That includes Apple devices and accessories. According to Apple Insider, stores are lowering the prices on all Apple products. One buyer says he bought an Apple TV for half the $150 price charged by Apple. Last week, Toys R Us announced it would close 735 of its remaining U.S. stores. And here's a look at the Toys R Us stores that are located in the Oklahoma City metro. Both Toys R Us stores are open each day until 9 p.m.
And with the start of spring, Krispy Kreme has released a new treat. Look at that right there. The new item on the list is a Reese's Peanut Butter Egg Donut. It's filled with a blend of peanut butter cream. It's dipped in a custom chocolate icing and then decorated like a festive Easter egg. All right, let's show you a look at the donuts on Krispy Kreme's website. It's going to be sold at Krispy Kreme's all around the nation until Easter. You may not be able to use a plastic straw at your favorite restaurant anymore. The reason is environmentally driven. Environmentalists say that almost 500 million plastic straws are tossed away each day. Their fear is that the straws are not recycled and end up polluting oceans and landfills. The suggested solution right now is offering paper straws instead of plastic. Following backlash comments, United Airlines suspending its pet program. Since 2017, 18 pets have died in the cargo department under its Pet Safe program. That's triple the number of animal deaths from American, Delta, and Alaska Airlines combined. The program will be under review until May 1st by animal safety experts.
Hey, coming up on the Primetime News at 9, Bricks knows all about it. We know all about it. We're going to tell you about the team. Kind of like the brand new name for a team for 8 games at least right here in Oklahoma City. We're talking about the Dodgers and a brand new name. All that coming right around the corner on the Fox 25. Primetime News at 9. Ain't that right? Have fun.
And with the possibility of a teacher walkout, many organizations are making efforts to help parents out.
What the Oklahoma Science Museum has planned for children.
And speaking of science, the Fox 25 weather team and Mad Science was at the Northwest Metro Library here in Oklahoma City today. The kids are waving around their homework assignment. They take that home, help to make a severe weather safety plan with their family, help to find their tornado safe spot. Kids, thanks so much for having us. Have a great spring break, which does continue into the weekend. Best outdoor day on Saturday because showers and thunderstorms are possible on Sunday.
From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
For 8 games this coming season, the Oklahoma City Dodgers are going to be taking the field as an alternate identity.
It's all part of their embracing of the Hispanic culture here in the Metro. Fox 25's Mitch English was at the big name reveal party and says the fans are really excited.
It definitely was a big day for the Oklahoma City Dodgers today, announcing an alternate identity. And I've tried to do this. I can never really kind of take it off. But when the Dodgers do it, they do it right. And it's embracing the community. Tell everybody exactly about the new name, what it means, and how they can get involved.
Absolutely. It's called Cielo Azul de Oklahoma City, and it's part of a minor league-wide program, 33 teams out of their 160 to help connect better with the local Hispanic and Latino communities. So it's something we've developed for the last few months, focus grouped it with key members of the Hispanic and Latino community here in Oklahoma City, and we chose the name. It translated to blue sky, a few different reasons, one of which is the beautiful blue skies we have here in Oklahoma City and the diversity we have that lives underneath it. Also, to be able to work in the color blue, being a Dodgers team, and then Fernando Valenzuela, the Dodgers legend, who would look up to the skies as he was in his windup delivering the pitch.
All righty. And what's neat about these 8 games, too, is that we're going to have different vendors and such, different kinds of foods that are going to be served?
Yeah, our executive chef and his team have really done a lot of studying what are kind of popular ballpark foods in different Latin American countries. So we're going to have those on special during these games. We're going to have 2 4-game series against a couple of other teams that are also participating, so they'll be wearing their special jerseys too. So in late May, starting at May 31st through June the 2nd, as well as July 27th through 30th.
Okay, and the Dodgers regular season kicks off April 10th, correct?
April 10th, coming up really soon.
All right, so get your Dodger blue, get your Cielo Azul, get your gear, get it together. And you want more details, we have it on our website at okcfox.com.
The Science Museum Oklahoma is prepared to host camps if teachers decide to walk out beginning April 2nd. Camps are going to be hosted for children grades pre-K through 6. Now the camps are for pre-K and kindergarten. They're going to be held from 9 to noon. They're going to cost $20 per day for museum members and $25 for non-members. Camps for kids in 1st grade to 6th grade will take place from 9 to 4 and cost $45 per day for museum members and $50 for non-members. The camps will continue until the walkout is over. If you do want some information, click on this story on our website at okcfox.com.
The mysterious mane growing on a Oklahoma City female lion now explained. It's a hair-raising tale, you could say. Bridget, the 18-year-old African lioness, most likely has a benign tumor. Now that tumor is producing hormones that could contribute to male features developing. The zoo says female lions with manes are not unheard of, but they are rare.
That's still pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I think she still looks nice to me.
She does.
The more you know. No, it's. What'd you say, Myron?
He's a shave.
Yeah. Nice little waxing. I think a few of us can help out with that. You know, and it's spring, so the less fur, you know, the better, especially around your face, because it's about to get hot later on this week. Now it's going to be in the 60s tomorrow afternoon after starting off in the 30s, 80s, and really the humidity starts to pick up on Friday and stepping into the weekend. You're going to feel that, and that may lay that foundation for the showers and thunderstorms we're expecting on Sunday. Some could be strong or severe. It's that time of year too. And then next Monday and Tuesday, it does get cooler, but possibly wetter, which would be nice.
All right, former First Lady Michelle Obama is in such high demand, she needs more space. The distinctive portrait of Mrs. Obama has had so many visitors, the Smithsonian had to move it to a different part of the museum.
In fact, the portraits of the Obamas are upping traffic to the gallery since they unveiled. Nearly 177,000 people visited in February. That's its biggest month in 3 years.
Now, a few weeks ago, an image of a 2-year-old girl staring at the former First Lady's portrait went viral. That photo caught Mrs. Obama's attention. She invited the child and her family to her Washington office for a dance party.
Good stuff. All right, the Thunder look for their 7th win in a row tonight with a game at Boston. And Trae Young makes it official. He's off to the NBA. Got a one-on-one interview with his father on the various topics and, of course, why he didn't come back for another year like Blake Griffin did back in the day. That and more next in the Sports Wrap.
And don't forget, we've got your latest news, traffic, and weather every morning.
Just start your day with Chris and Jasmine from 5 to 9 a.m. on Good Day OK.
Hello, everybody. The big stories tonight, Thunder basketball in Boston face the second-best team in the Eastern Conference in the Celtics. And Oklahoma's Trae Young says goodbye to college basketball and heads off to the pro ranks of the NBA. It's something that's easy to understand considering he became the first player in college hoops to lead the nation in points and assists at 27 points and 8.7 assists per game. He was named winner of the Wayman Tisdale Award, which goes to the nation's top freshman, and he's the finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, which goes to the nation's top point guard. I had a long conversation with his dad, Rayford, this afternoon. One of the things he addressed is former Sooner Blake Griffin's decision to return for his sophomore year at Oklahoma back in the day and how it resulted in him being the top pick in the draft and why Trae didn't follow the same path.
Yeah, you know, like we said, you know, the difference in a kid like Trae being a point guard and being smaller is, you know, he's got to go prove to people that he can play. And then you've got, you know, Blake Griffin he's just a phenom. You know, he can jump out of this world. He's big and he's strong, and also he's 6'9", 6'10". So for those guys, they're going to always be at the top of the draft. The NBA guys are going to always be just watching them and, you know, wanting them to come into their league. So when you're a younger guy and you're a smaller guy like a point guard like Trae, you got to really think about, you know, your opportunities and kind of jump on them when they come and just you know, try to be ready, you know, get in the gym and you know, prove that you can make it at that level.
Playing at the next level is basketball. It's also a different lifestyle, and as good as Trey is, he's still 19 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
What about the family? What are they gonna? Are you guys gonna stay here? You gonna go with him? That kind of deal. You figure that kind of stuff out yet?
Well, we hadn't figured all of that out yet. I mean, who knows where he's going to be? I was talking to Trey the other day, and we were just talking about, you know, what if Dallas didn't draft a point guard last year? That would have been the perfect situation going to Dallas, and we could stay here and just drive down the road. But who knows if he ends up on the West Coast or East Coast? You know, for certain, I'm going to be around. His mom's going to be around as much as possible, if not all the time. But it's just something we're going to have to continue to pray about and keep talking about. And, you know, those are just some of the things that people don't realize. You know, Trey's 19. He's grown up in Oklahoma. And now you're asking a 19-year-old to live in, you know, one of the major cities in the United States. And, you know, kids can't do that on their own. So, you know, he'll definitely have family around.
What about agent? How do you go through that process? Picking out an agent, representation, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, the whole process with agents is, you know, I've known a lot of these guys from days when I played, and, you know, a lot of them are still in the business. Coach Kruger's been around for over 30 years, so he's got some great opinions on guys that we need to talk to. And then, you know, it's just a matter of sitting down with these guys, listening to what they have to say, and finding out who we feel comfortable with. And the biggest thing with the agent process is finding someone who's around when I'm not around or Trey's mom isn't around, that we can trust and know he's going to be in good hands with. So, you know, when you get to this level, as you know, it's more than just basketball. It turns into a business, and there's so many different aspects of the business. So we're just at the beginning stages.
Here's a mock draft from NBADraft.net. Now notice the heights of the first 5 picks. No one under 6'10", which is what Rayford was talking about when talking about a small player and the odds of moving up to the #1 pick like Blake Griffin did when he came back for his sophomore year at Oklahoma. Teams love size, even a guy like Michael Porter, Trey's best friend and an AAU teammate who missed most of the season at Missouri but still projected to go high in the lottery. 12 or 13 is the lowest I've seen Young in the various mock drafts. Tomorrow, Young starts working out in Los Angeles with Blake Griffin's trainer. All right, Sunday the Thunder beat the best team in the East, Toronto. Tonight they get the second best team in the East, the Boston Celtics, on the road. Wins are needed for Oklahoma City to seal a playoff spot. Billy Donovan was trying to make sure his guys didn't take the Celtics lightly because they were missing several key mainstay players, guys like Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, etc. Russell Westbrook with a three-pointer as Oklahoma City took a 5-point lead, 69-64. But Boston wasn't good tonight. Marcus Morris with a miss leads to a run-out by Corey Brewer, who finished with a layup for a 9-point lead. But Boston closed the third with this running three by Shane Larkin to close out that third quarter, down by 2. Thunder were up by 5 with 27 seconds to go, but missed free throws 2 by Carmelo Anthony and just poor play the whole game. Marcus Morris with that 3 with 1.2 seconds left wins it. Worst loss all season for Oklahoma City, 199 your final. Thunder are back home on Friday when the Miami Heat come to town. They got Portland coming on Sunday. They fall to 43-30 on the season. And then once again, they're back in the pack with everybody else trying to be that top 8 seed in the Western Conference. So a lot of games left, but this is a bad loss tonight. There's your sports. We'll see you back at 10 o'clock.
From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Late Edition.
Another potentially explosive device discovered in Central Texas.
Fox 25's Caroline Vandergriff has an update from the live desk with brand new details.
That's right. Just in the past 20 minutes, Austin police giving an update on the latest bomb scare. Take a look at their Twitter page right now. You can see that they were updating media about this. They say the most recent reported explosion was not related to the package bombings. Around 7 tonight, a Goodwill employee found a box with 2 small military devices. One went off in the employee's hand. He was hurt but is doing well. Police don't believe it was intentional. They say people find military mementos all the time and don't know how to properly dispose of them. Now, Austin police urged people to still remain cautious, keep calling police if they see suspicious packages as they continue to investigate to try to figure out who is responsible for this.
Good evening, everyone. Spring 2018 did kick off this morning. As we head throughout the spring season, 2 big weather concerns. Number 1, the wildfire threat. And later on this week, Thursday all the way until Sunday, the fire danger is there. It's high to critical, but it never does get to the critical or extremely dangerous category, which is mostly good news. Of course, severe weather is also on everyone's mind, and we do have a very low risk of severe thunderstorms coming up on Sunday. More on that a little bit later. Right now, as we look live over downtown Oklahoma City, Norman, and more, this is the Air Comfort Solutions Weather Bug Network. It's mostly cloudy and very cool. We are heading down to 38 tonight in Oklahoma City, so a very chilly spring night. But 80s are in the forecast real soon. We'll talk some more about that Sunday severe weather threat and a lot more wet weather possibly next week. Storm watch 7-day real soon.
All right, Jeff, thank you. The State Department of Education says it found records of grade changing at Chickasha Public Schools. So the state superintendent is asking OSBI to start a grade tampering investigation. The State Education Department says it found 5,500 course grades that were changed and thousands of assignment grade changes. These were all for online courses. Officials started in the investigation because of dozens of complaints from parents and community members. And people tell Fox 25 they've suspected something for months.
Students should earn their grades. They shouldn't be given them. And every student deserves a fair and proper education. And that's what we're here for.
Chickasha schools are out for spring break, so we could not talk to anyone from the district in person, but we did receive a statement. It reads, neither Hoffmeister nor her staff have been in recent contact with district officials, and it is unclear how the state superintendent reached her conclusions. Nevertheless, district leaders welcome a criminal investigation.
A Robert E. Lee monument is taken down in Tulsa today after thousands signed a petition. That monument was removed from Lee Elementary School. This comes less than 2 weeks before the school is to get a name change. Tulsa is renaming 4 of their schools that were named after Confederate leaders, and Oklahoma City is renaming 3 schools. The man already serving a life sentence pleads guilty to running down his victim's mother. Stanley Majors shot and killed his neighbor, Khalid Jabara, in 2016. Today, Majors pleaded guilty to hitting Jabara's mother, Haifa Jabara, a year before the murder. Majors was sentenced to 15 years in prison, which he'll serve concurrent with his life sentence.
A 12-year-old boy accused of leading police, deputies, and state troopers on a high-speed chase. We're told it all started around 2 this afternoon when police got a call about an SUV driving erratically and speeding near Highway 152 and County Line Road in Mustang. An officer tried to pull the SUV owner over, but it kept going. So Grady County deputies and OHP joined the pursuit. The SUV stopped on its own just north of the entrance to the H.E. Bailey Turnpike. Investigators say they later determined the car had been stolen from Oklahoma City. There's no word on possible charges or where the boy is being held tonight. 3 people now behind bars for burglarizing a murder suspect's home. This happened at around 4 o'clock last Friday afternoon. Police say Zachary Tiger, Lonnie Wright, and Rodney Weed were loading items into a vehicle near Southwest 27th and South Grand. All 3 are facing charges of second-degree burglary. Now, the victim in the case was arrested last week in connection to a murder in northwest Oklahoma City.
Lincoln County deputies are looking for a man they believe stole $250,000 worth of items from all across the state. The sheriff allowed us inside this house. You can see the floor is covered with totes, TVs, Purple Hearts, even a coffin. The sheriff tells Fox 25 he's never seen anything like this.
Mind blowing. I've done this for 38 years and I've never seen anything like this. or to this size.
The sheriff's office says they've been in contact with his family, so they're going to wait and see where that takes them. As for the stolen property, they're not sure how many days they'll be at this house, but it's going to take some time. We can tell you, though, they've solved 20 burglaries just from this one house. The Senate Intelligence Committee found some major security lapses while investigating Russian election hacking.
As Circa's Russ Reed reports, members held a bipartisan press conference on Capitol Hill to preview their recommendations.
The Senate Intelligence Committee has shared a preview of their findings in the year-long investigation of possible Russian meddling in the 2016 election.
Russia was trying to undermine the confidence of our election system. We're here to express concerns, but also confidence in our state and local governments.
The preview focused on Russia's attempts to hack individual state voting systems and address lapses in security.
In the aftermath of this information coming out, that it actually took the Department of Homeland Security nearly 9 months to notify the top election officials.
The announcement comes at a controversial time, as Democrats have grown increasingly skeptical of the Republican-led investigation in the House, which ended last week. The House Intelligence Committee's investigation claimed there was no evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. That determination upset Democratic ranking member Adam Schiff, who claimed Republicans were more interested in protecting the president. The Senate committee insisted their investigation will continue and offered recommendations to improve security in the future.
We need to be more effective at deterring our adversaries. The federal government should partner with the states to truly secure their systems. That will also be in possible grant funding. DHS and FBI have made great strides, but they must do more.
For Circa in Washington, I'm Russ Reed.
Children today haven't known a world without school shootings or the procedures in place to protect them. Schools have stepped up security measures over the years, but even those can be breached. And when they are, our teachers are on the front lines.
Alex Heaton from our sister station in Charleston, South Carolina, explains why teachers play an even greater role in your child's life than ever before.
Who can raise their hand? What was the main idea of today's writing?
It's Free Write and Fractions Day for Jill Patrick's third grade class.
Back part, you know, I said 2B. Ooh, 2B continued, a little bit of a mystery.
The former Teacher of the Year at Sangaree Intermediate School in Berkeley County knows her classroom.
All right, so what it's doing
is her students' second home.
They're my babies once they walk in the door, and they're my babies once they leave. And you put some transition words in there? Whoo! Tamaya's adding transition words.
She's young, and she'll admit, school isn't quite like what you or I grew up with.
You write your name on your paper. You hear lockdown, you know where to go. Doesn't matter where you are. At the end of the day, they're ready.
Just like the earthquake and fire drills of her generation, lockdown drills for intruders or active shooters are the new norm.
We practice them. It's natural. They know we're going to do this, and they know at the end of the day that I'm not going to let anything happen to them.
Good morning. Can I help you?
Yes, I need to sign in for volunteer.
Yes, ma'am. Come on in. Can you hold the door for me?
Sure.
Thanks. No, I don't need your help. I'm just going to the office. No, like I just said, I don't need your help.
Miss Bigling, I just had someone come in behind a parent. She did not sign in.
I am on my way. Ma'am, if you please stop. Kelly, let's go to lockdown.
Front office, please put the school on full lockdown.
Attention teachers and staff, please go into full lockdown immediately.
All right, Chromebooks and lamps.
And we just stand back there and try to be quiet and calm and not freak out.
Sit quietly. Good job. Really good job. They know to follow my lead and stay calm. Stay quiet. We daydream a lot.
Sangaree Intermediate to base, we are in a full lockdown. I repeat, we are in a full lockdown. There is an unknown intruder inside of the school building. They are in the 100 wing of the school. I believe it's a female intruder.
Daydream about what you want to do this weekend. Think about that riddle. Try and see what you can do.
Ma'am, if you please stop.
Y'all are doing so good.
Can I help you?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure that I can't help
no,
you
I'm
find
good. Some
place?
No, I know exactly where my child's classroom is. I don't need your help.
Well, and we can help you get your child.
I know it's uncomfortable. Just sit still. Kids follow you. They're going to see if you're nervous, then they know to be nervous. If you're calm, then they know it's okay. So as a teacher, you just really try to stay calm and make sure that they feel comfortable and safe in your classroom.
Everyone has a role. There's no time to hesitate.
If something happens in real life, you know, we don't have time to be saying, well, should I do this? Should I do that? You know, it's got to be a practiced habit. It's got to be common sense or a feeling in the gut.
It's what Principal Siegling and Jill have been trained to do. Be confident and calm.
Great job. The drill is over. Y'all did a wonderful job. So quiet. Thank you for getting in that safe space. Thank you, Miss Patrick.
All right, let's head back to our seats. We got things to do.
And tomorrow's going to be another great day to go outside and play if you're on spring break, starting things off in the 40s and winding up tomorrow afternoon in the 60s to about 70. Enjoy, because stormy weather is just around the corner, and so is your Storm Watch 7 day.
Hello, everybody. The big stories tonight: Thunder basketball in Boston to face the second best team in the Eastern Conference in the Celtics. And Oklahoma's Trae Young saying goodbye to college basketball, heading off to the pro ranks of the NBA. Had a one-on-one conversation with Trae's dad, and we talked about the decision not to follow in the footsteps of Blake Griffin, who came back for his sophomore year at Oklahoma.
Yeah, you know, like we said, you know, the difference in a kid like Trae being a point guard and being smaller is, you know, he's got to go prove to people that he can play. And then you've got, you know, Blake Griffin he's just a phenom. You know, he can jump out of this world. He's big and he's strong, and also he's 6'9", 6'10". So for those guys, they're going to always be at the top of the draft. The NBA guys are going to always be just watching them and, you know, wanting them to come into their league. So when you're a younger guy and you're a smaller guy like a point guard like Trae, you got to really think about, you know, your opportunities and kind of jump on them when they come, and just you know, try to be ready, you know, get in the gym and you know, prove that you can make it at that level.
Playing at the next level is basketball. It's also a different lifestyle, and that's as good as Trae is. He's still 19 years old.
Yeah.
What about the family? What are they gonna? Are you guys gonna stay here? You gonna go with them? That kind of deal. You figure that kind of stuff out yet?
Well, we hadn't figured all of that out yet. I mean, who knows where he's going to be? I was talking to Trae the other day, and we were just talking about, you know, what if Dallas didn't draft a point guard last year? That would have been the perfect situation, going to Dallas, and we could stay here and just drive down the road. But who knows if he ends up on the West Coast or East Coast? You know, for certain, I'm going to be around. His mom's going to be around as much as possible, if not all the time. But it's just something we're going to have to continue to pray about and keep talking about. And, you know, those are just some of the things that people don't realize. You know, Trae's 19. He's grown up in Oklahoma. And now you're asking a 19-year-old to live in, you know, one of the major cities in the United States. And, you know, kids can't do that on their own. So, you know, he'll definitely have family around.
What about agent? How do you go through that process, picking out an agent, representation, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, the whole process with agents is, you know, I've known a lot of these guys from days when I played, and, you know, a lot of them are still in the business. Coach Kruger's been around for over 30 years, so he's got some great opinions on guys that we need to talk to. And then, you know, it's just a matter of sitting down with these guys, listening to what they have to say, and finding out who we feel comfortable with. And the biggest thing with the agent process is finding someone who's around when I'm not around or Trae's mom isn't around, that we can trust and know he's going to be in good hands with. So, you know, when you get to this level, as you know, it's more than just basketball. It turns into a business, and there's so many different aspects of the business. So we're just at the beginning stages.
Here's the mock draft from NBADraft.net. Notice the heights of the first 5 picks. No one under 6'10", which is what Rayford was talking about when Talking about a small player and the odds of moving up to #1 in the draft like Blake Griffin did. Got Chicago Bulls taking Young at #8. I've seen Orlando at #7. 12 and 13 is the lowest I've seen Young in the various mock drafts. Now tomorrow, Young starts working out in Los Angeles with Blake Griffin's trainer. All right, Sunday, the Thunder beat the best team in the East, Toronto. Tonight, they get the second best team in the East, the Boston Celtics, on the road. Wins needed for Oklahoma City to try to secure a playoff spot. Billy Donovan was trying to make sure his guys didn't take the Celtics lightly because they were missing some key guys like Jaylen Brown, Kyrie Irving, among others. Russell Westbrook with a three-pointer as Oklahoma City took a 5-point lead in the third, 69-64. Boston wasn't good tonight. Marcus Morris with the miss leads to a run-out by Corey Brewer, who finished with a 9 for the 9-point lead. But Boston closed the third quarter with a running three by Shane Larkin to close out the third. They were down 2. Thunder were up by 5 at one point, 27 seconds to go, but they missed a bunch of free throws. Just poor play down the stretch. The whole game, really. Marcus Morris at 3 with 1.2 seconds to go. 199. Boston gets the win, the worst loss all season for Oklahoma City. They're back home Friday against the Miami Heat. Let's check on weather.
Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday, everyone. We have mostly cloudy skies all across Oklahoma, and we had some spring showers in parts of northwest and north central Oklahoma not too long ago. They have fizzled pretty fast, but to the northwest, that's our next big weather maker when it does swing by on Sunday. It's 5 days away. It's way up here in western Canada, so it's got a ways to go. But again, on Sunday, rain, thunder, and severe weather, all that stuff is possible, but just a few sprinkles northwest overnight and lows in the middle to upper 30s. So everyone does stay above freezing, but still downright chilly for the second day of spring. Clear skies and cold, not much wind early in the morning, and then we quickly get into the 40s by 9, 50s around 11, and we're doing a pretty good 55 at noon. Pleasantly cool and dry, and then tomorrow afternoon, sweet stuff. Quite a bit of sunshine and 60s, very nice and comfy, sunny to partly cloudy. And we keep on warming up this week. On Thursday, 76, and how about some 80s on Friday and Saturday? Now on Friday, it's spring, so you're going to start to notice it getting muggy and stuffy, and that will lay the foundation possibly for some stormy weather coming up on Sunday. Sunday coming off that cold front and dry line, isolated thunderstorms, but whatever comes off these features to the west could produce some severe weather. Isolated damaging wind and hail are possible, but your best chances for any kind of stormy and severe weather east of I-35, that's on Sunday. And on Monday and Tuesday, instead of that front swinging by like it usually does, it kind of hangs out. So rounds and waves of showers and thunderstorms, and some could be strong and heavy at times. That's Monday and Tuesday, so a wet weather pattern setting up for us, and that's pretty good for most of us. So on Sunday, 75, cooling off early next week, and a lot of wet weather coming in.
If I told you that the representatives of the United States, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, the European Union, and Israel met and agreed on something about the Middle East, would you believe me? That is exactly what happened at the White House last week. These were just some of the countries brought together by the Trump administration to try and solve the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. Unemployment in Gaza is over 40%. 96% of Gaza's water supply is unsafe to drink. There's widespread starvation. The White House meeting was arranged and led by Jared Kushner, senior advisor to President Trump, and by Jason Greenblatt, the president's special representative for international negotiations. Projects to fix electricity, water, sewage, and healthcare in Gaza were discussed. A big problem in Gaza is that Hamas, a terrorist group, controls the area. Hamas has to put down their weapons for there to be any hope of saving Gaza. Gaza has to come under control of the Palestinian Authority so the world can deal with a single entity. The Palestinians did not accept an invitation to last week's meeting. There is hope that if pressed by their allies who did attend, they will join the process going forward. Here's the bottom line. It is encouraging to see countries which had fought terrible wars with each other join together to help fellow human beings. American leadership, together with Israeli and Arab partnership, are necessary to fix the terrible situation in Gaza and work toward a lasting peace in the Middle East.
And things keep on warming up this week, and we're going to be in the 80s Friday. And as we hit that weekend, some showers and thunderstorms are possible Sunday into Tuesday. A few could be strong or severe. So please stay severe weather aware and have a nice night.